Hey, I'm Spencer with energeticcity.ca, and this is the Community Roundup, which is sponsored by Brad's Furniture and Appliances. And I'm here with Francis Obie, who will be opening her show on Friday at Peace Gallery North. And it's going to feature a lot of lovely paintings, much like the one that my head is... Okay, yep, I'm going the wrong way. This one is very lovely, and then we have this one over here. And now, so the show is called Confluence. Can you tell me a little bit about why you chose that name?
Sure. Well, the inspiration, first of all, for all these paintings was a trip that I took to Atlin Lake back in the summer of 2020. And Atlin Lake is literally a confluence of several rivers and a glacier, which all flow into the lake. But confluence has other meanings. It can refer to connections of all sorts, right? So being a landscape painter, you can think in terms of the literal landscape that you have in front of you, or you can think in terms of what's behind that, the inner life of the landscape. Like to me, when I was taking in the atmosphere at Atlin Lake, I felt that there was like this inner life going on. That was, and it expressed itself through rhythms, patterns, and emotional color. And so that's when I got the idea of this meeting of the inner life meeting the outer existence, the reality that we see. Because without that, you know, there is no inspiration. So the paintings, through these paintings, I try to show that balance, that meeting point of the what we see, the landscape we see in front of us, and then also the inner life that is the spirit of the place. Right.
So it's kind of like there's the physical landscape, and there's kind of like the more spiritual, like emotional side of it.
Yeah, and it's very subjective. It's the subjective reality, and that can be terribly difficult to describe.
Yes.
It's something that I think painters try every time landscape painters anyway, try to capture the spirit of the place, the essence of what the landscape means to them. So it is difficult to put into words, but that is my best effort. Yeah, it's the spirit of the place.
For sure. So I know that your show opens on Friday night, April 8th. When someone's walking through your show, what's kind of the key takeaway that you want them to take away from the art that you're displaying?
I'm hoping that they can get a sense of a little bit of what I experienced in Atlin Lake. In Atlin Lake, there was mists that curled around and changed the shape of things, and realities seemed to intermingle. There's also a huge sense of space, expansion, stillness. So that's the kind of atmosphere that I'm trying to communicate.
For sure. And kind of, I know that you mentioned that you're a landscape painter. This is normally what you do. Was there something, I mean, clearly there was something a little different about the landscape of Atlin Lake as opposed to others that you painted. Can you tell me what the main difference was?
Well, Atlin Lake is relatively pristine. Well, in the town of Atlin, the cell service is incredibly limited. We camped, and you can only go to one spot in town where there's cell service. So it's relatively untouched there. Beautiful environment. And I think places like that evoke this sense of mystery. And mysticism even. So that is pretty much what I'm trying to communicate through these paintings.
Do you think that the mystery is kind of because you're so it seems unreachable, like in a way, because like obviously here you can kind of go, well, I mean, you know, a little outside.
Yeah, exactly. In a more urban environment, you don't get that. You know. Land that's been touched, that's been manipulated, that's been built upon, that has a history of human use. You don't get those feelings. I don't. The only other place where I've experienced that is, again, the West Coast. But going down, I did take a trip once down the Oregon coast, the California coast.
Okay.
And very similar feelings, same sense of spirituality and of the ethereal elements.
Mm-hmm. So it's kind of you capturing, I don't want to say untainted, but like an unprocessed part of land that humans haven't quite.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's land that's been untouched, that is free to be just whatever it is, in which you can actually sense interaction of the elements, the wildlife, this, the silence, holds life in itself.
Absolutely.
And you can even feel that.
Now, we've chatted a little bit about this before because I talked to you a little while ago, and you said something about you wanting to invoke a sense of connection to nature that we don't really experience as much anymore. And I was wondering if you could touch a little bit more on that before I let you go.
Well, that comes back to our relationship with the environment. I had a strong sense of relationship in Atlan Lake. Don't have as much of that here in Fort St. John, or again, as I mentioned, in other urban areas. But that is another confluence, actually. Is a point of connection is our relationship with the natural world. And again, that is something that I'm trying to put across through these paintings.
Absolutely. Well, just seeing the ones that you have, she's not quite done hanging all of them, but they're. I definitely recommend come checking it out because it does invoke a feeling kind of when I went tree planting once and we had no cell service, and that's kind of the same feeling. Yeah. It was up, I think, Douglas Channel, but no cell service, there was nothing, and that's kind of the same feeling that I get. So I feel like you've done a really good job kind of capturing that. So the show opens Friday night. Do you know what time?
7 p.m.
Okay.
Yeah. 7 till 8:30, I believe, is the opening reception.
Fantastic. Will you be here? Or?
I will.
All right, excellent. Yeah. Well, if you want a great opportunity to come chat with Francis, whether you're a landscape painter that just wants to talk shop, or just someone who wants to ask some questions about how great Atlan Lake was, you're more than welcome to stop by. So 7 to 8:30, and come meet Francis. She's fantastic. Thank you so much for letting me talk to you today about your art. I'm looking forward to seeing the full show.
Thank you, Spencer.
You're very welcome. This has been the Community Roundup, which is sponsored by Brad's Furniture and Appliances. I'm Spencer with energeticcity.ca. Thank you so much for watching.